All right, so this is for realtors, investors, pretty much anyone in that investment field. You can take nuggets of this, but I've been having some interesting conversations lately. To tell you a little bit about me, I was in real estate for 10 years and now I'm doing some crazy jumps to chase my dreams in a different area. But I've had investors calling me, some of my old investors. And first, investors, let's talk about loyalty. When you are an investor and you are dealing with your money and your investments attached to people on your team, okay? So say you're a flipper, rentals, doesn't matter. I watch these investors all the time that say a random agent brings them a deal or, whatever. They feel this need to do them a favor. So they'll have them list the property. They'll have them, write the contract on the land, whatever it is. Investors, agents. It's like dating. And you're building your team. If you're playing with the fuck boy or a fuck girl, they're not loyal. They'll lie to you to make things look better than they really are. You can't trust them with the people you're dealing with, say the farmer, say the homeowner, whatever. You can't trust them to be on top of it and loyal to you. They're not wifey material. And so I'm having this conversation with my investor and he's like, well, no, this agent, she just sent this in for me. And then we had to catch all these things and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, your picker is off. Your picker's off. Why are you doing a favor for someone when it's attached to your money? Why? When you're doing someone a favor, I don't care if your mom's an agent, your girlfriend, your friend, your whatever. When you're doing someone a favor, you can have no expectations on their quality. They don't have to bring anything to the table. Nothing. When you are doing someone a favor, you are not allowed to have expectations. It's your investment. Why are you not having expectations? Like, really, if you are building your team of the people that you can trust, that does not mean you are a fuckboy or fuckgirl and you're bouncing around because you have no loyalty. That does not mean that you change your subs up all the time. I work with the same people that I worked with 10 years ago. I trust them. They trust me. They know my expectations. They are not willing to do anything shady because they know that my expectations, if they did something shady, they are out. You are attached, your name, your reputation is attached to whatever person is on your team. Because guess what? You don't know what they're doing behind closed doors, but other people do. And you are instantly judged on what they're doing behind closed doors. So if you are messing with non-wifey material loyalty, someone that would have your back, stand up for you, someone you could trust, someone you take home to mommy, someone that you trust to go and be a representation of you wherever they go. And you know that their standards, their values, and everything match up and they are always for the highest good. If you don't have those people on your team and you don't know what their reputation is outside of that, you are getting judged based on that. So, talking to my investor about his picker being off. I'm like, do you remember that I refused to work with you and your team for 2 years? 2 years. One of their partners had to come beg me to give them another chance. And I told them, I will not work with you because one of your partners is shady. One of your partners allows shady people to be a part of your team. He brings in other shady people because shady people attract shady people. So if he's bringing in more shady investors for their developments, he's bringing in more shady developers, he's bringing in more shady buyers, he attracts Shady. And I told, the guy was sitting at the table while I'm telling them, I can't work with you because you, in particular, are shady. You work with shady people, you allow shady things to happen, and I can't have my name attached to your bad choices. I can't. My reputation in the industry, they know, agents know that I won't work with shady people. So who wins the bidding wars? If an agent has to pick and there's multiple offers on the table, guess what? They pick me every time and I win. I don't care if I had more money on the table, less money on the table, totally different conditions for my investor, doesn't matter. Do you want to know why? Because they're able to go back to their seller and they are able to stand in their own truth, knowing that I will have their back. I will make sure the deal closes correctly. I will make sure that my client is honest, and I will make sure that their client is protected. Even if it's an agent that has no idea about land, no idea about new construction, they know that I have their back as well as mine. I will even teach them if their ego doesn't get in the way. But my investors know that. They know that if they come to me, their ego can't be in the way. Their ego can't be in the way. I'm going to tell them what's off, what's wrong, what I won't accept, what I will accept, because my picker for even who I would work with, because it was my value, my reputation, not attached to greed and money and getting that deal. Investors, you need to pick wifey material, pretty much, talking to the dudes or the women, husband material, in every area of your team. Every area. Not just whoever has the best price on flooring this week. You need to know who your flooring guy is. Not the best title person this week. It's who knows your expectations across the board. Who brings value to the table. Because if you're doing a favor, so that investor that I'm talking to and telling him his picker's off, he was having to watch all the contracts because she was writing them incorrectly. She hadn't done land before. He was calling me to get rough numbers on a development and how to price it comp-wise. He's the developer. Do you want to know what that means? That means within his team, he is overthinking everything he already knows because he can't trust anybody. Can't trust anybody. I can look at a development, know what the cost to sell lots are, be able to back that out into paper, be able to back that out into what I would offer, know my buffer, know my percentage, all of that within 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not developing it. But agents or investors, if your agent isn't bringing value to the table where they're still calling me when I'm not even doing real estate right this second, why are you working with them? If an agent doesn't have a team on their circle of the transaction, meaning title, this, that, but they are generally, I view it as they are the general contractor of that part. They should know how everything works. They should know how it flows. They should have expectations set up with every person on their team so you don't have to think twice. They are bringing value to you because there's areas that you don't know that they have studied and mastered, because that is how they protect you. That is how you get to be like the floaty little duck on the top of the water and the legs underneath are going, but you're just gliding, and now you're able to focus on your actual investment, knowing that wifey material over there has your back. This whole non-loyalty thing, let me tell you, as a wifey material person, I don't work with fuck boys or fuck girls because they aren't loyal to me. So that means I'm not loyal to you. You aren't going to get my good deals. You aren't going to get my time and attention, and you aren't going to get the strategy that I know, because I don't do this whole 8%, 20%. If I can't get 30 to 80% returns, minimum 30, I don't play that game. I'm not in that game. I don't even work with people that want returns under 30 because I always know there is a way to strategize to get a minimum of 30%. And that is figuring on based on worst case scenario is 30, which means I'm actually probably at 50 on my worst case scenario because then they make more. They need, or investors, you need to find that loyalty gene. You need to find your loyalty gene. You need to swallow your ego because this whole you want to controlling every aspect, you're not the master of everything. That's like me going in to get surgery from a doctor and I am bringing the step-by-step YouTube video that I found on WebMD to diagnose myself and make sure that he is doing the surgery correctly. Or I interview, review, and look at their past history to know that they're amazing in what they do, and I stop questioning them and I trust them. If you can't trust people on your team, you are guaranteed, one, to have way less returns. The feet, so that you're gliding, you ain't gliding, you are part of the problems. Because somebody who doesn't know is learning the problems through you and your transaction. If they aren't making sure that they are masters in their craft and know it backwards, forwards, and able to throw numbers out at you like that, they shouldn't be on your team. If you can't ask them questions and they know the answers because they know more than you, they shouldn't be on your team. But when you find that person, you better be loyal as hell. Because I know for me, if you're not loyal, if your ego is not checked at the door, because I will check my ego because I want to learn pieces from you because everybody has genius. But if you can't check yours at the door, we will never work well together. Because then you are always questioning my value. And if I don't question my value, I'm definitely not going to let someone else come into my space and have me question it or them question mine. So, investors, fix your pickers, become loyal if you want wifey material on your team. Interview and make sure that they are the best. And the cheapest isn't always the best. My flooring guy is not always the cheapest, but do I know that he will drop shit at the drop of a hat at midnight if I needed him to go over and fix something or do something? Will he squeeze me into his schedule even if he is 6 months out? Hell yes, every single person would. Because they also know that I have their back 110%. If you are not working with teams like that, you are not getting the returns you should. You do not have the peace in your brain with every investment that you should. That is something that you can guarantee yourself if you check your ego and start screening for wifey material instead of fuckboys and fuckgirls. Sorry if that hurts your feelings at all, but my investor was laughing. Because one thing, if you aren't working with people that are authentic, they're not scared to tell you the truth, meaning my investors, any of people that I work with, doesn't matter. I will rock your world and rock your boat. Guaranteed. I come into somebody's life and I'm like a freaking hurricane, cyclone, but if you're with me, you're in the eye of the storm. If you are outside of me coming in and swirling that up, you're in some chaos. It's always better to have wifey material by your side. Just saying. Make sure you're working with authentic people because you're getting judged and your reputation and everything attached to the people you are working with. You will not have wifey material want to work with you if you are working with shady people. I won't work with shady people because they're willing to have shady people in their life and don't care based on money. Based on money. I wouldn't have refused to work with those investors for 2 freaking years because they had one shady partner if it was based on money. That means your ethics and values are willing to change for money. I am willing to give up money to stand in my truth and my ethics and values. Meaning I would never screw over an investor and they know that. I would never lie to them to their face and they know that. They know the numbers and everything that I am giving them or whatever I'm telling them. They know that I believe it 110% and I won't stop until it's done. If you don't have people like that on your team, you need to work on that. You need to work on that because you're not meant to know everything, but you are meant to surround yourself with people that have your back, even if you don't like the words that are coming out of their mouth, because they're doing it only to protect you and make you better. So swallow that ego, and you can add lots more zeros to your bank account and your investments.